Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dr. Ryan Lowry YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about what I would eat at Chick-fil-A. Arguably one of the best tasting fast food restaurants there is, but can you opt for some keto options while you're here? So we're gonna break down breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're gonna talk about drinks, sauces, and some of the things that you might not know, some of the hidden sugars or some of the hidden ingredients inside some of these food items that you might want to watch out for. So if you're going to Chick-fil-A for breakfast, what can you have if you're having a low carbohydrate diet? The first option is going to be your egg white grill, right? Many of you already have this. All you have to do is remove the English muffin from it, and it has one net carb. I'm just gonna put one next to it. One net carb if you remove the English muffin. The second option that they have, you have to ask for a little alterations. I'm just gonna put the hash scramble bowl. This one's one of my favorites. Super easy. All you have to do is ask them to remove the hash browns and add either grilled chicken or sausage. If you do that, you're stuck with about one net carbs per serving. So we have two options. One, you either just have to remove the bun. The other one, you remove the hash browns, and both of them have one net carb per serving. The third option we have is the bacon, egg, and cheese. Many of you likely already ordered this. This typically comes on a biscuit. Obviously, you have to remove the biscuit, as good as it may be. If you remove the biscuit, you're left with the bacon, egg, and cheese. And also, you have one net carb. The last thing that you can do, which is quite simple, if you don't feel like asking them to remove anything or make anything custom, you don't want to remove the bun or remove the hash brown or remove the biscuit, you can just ask for sides. And that's going to be eggs. It's going to be bacon. It's going to be sausage. Right? You can kind of make your own bowl, right? With a sausage patty, a side of bacon, and a side of eggs. Obviously, probably not the highest quality. Are these organic, pasture-raised eggs cooked in butter and not all these harmful vegetable oils and the best cooked bacon? Probably not. But again, something that if you're in a bind and occasionally stop at Chick-fil-A for breakfast, it's important to understand there are options. And these four options would be best if you're looking to keep your carbohydrates low, still get in pretty decent amount of protein, and allow yourself to eat there, right? So now let's jump to lunch and dinner, right? A lot of you are stopped there for either lunch or dinner. This is probably what more people eat, and we have four options here as well. The first one's going to be pretty obvious. And that one is what most of you who are eating low carb eat. And those are the grilled, I'm just gonna put grilled nuggies, right? It's personally what I get when I go there. And you're coming in at about 2 net carbs with the grilled chicken nuggets. How are we at 2 net carbs with the chicken nuggets? It's a question I asked myself when I was looking into a lot of the research with this video. Stay tuned and you'll find out why there's still 2 net carbs in the grilled chicken nuggies when it shouldn't have any, which is crazy, but hey, it's better than some of the other items on the list. The next option you're going to have is the grilled chicken fillet. So the grilled chicken fillet, what do you think you have to do with that, right? Remove the bun, right? When you do that, you're still left with about 3 net carbs. So you have the grilled nuggies, you got the grilled chicken fillet, you remove the bun, and you're stuck with about 3 net carbs. The third option is going to be the grilled chicken club. They have a club. What do you think you're gonna do with this? Right? Remove the bun. Now, before I would go to Chick-fil-A, I wouldn't get the grilled nuggies. I would get this option. This is the fourth option you can get at Chick-fil-A, but I quickly realized it had a little bit more net carbs. It's still something I have on occasion, but you have to ask for an alteration. And that is, you guys know me, you know I love my Cobb salads. Now, one of the challenges with Chick-fil-A is they put corn in their Cobb salad. You want to ask them to remove the corn, add a little bit of grilled chicken. If you remove the corn, you might have less than this, but with the corn on their website, it says it's about 10 net carbs. So if you remove the corn, you might be somewhere in this 2 to 3, maybe even 4 range, depending upon the dressing that you use. And a little bit later on, we're going to talk a little bit about the sauces. But again, it depends on the dressing. You don't want to do something that's super high in sugar. You want to stay something that's a lot lower carb for the dressing. But these are your options. This is what you're going to be dealing with if you're eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Chick-fil-A and you want to stay low carb. These are going to be your safest bet. Now, let's jump in to the chicken nuggies. Let's take a deeper dive on the nuggies. These are what they look like. Now, according to the Chicken Wire, if you look at Chick-fil-A's current grilled chicken items, they say that it took them 7 years and $50 million to develop this nugget. Why? Well, they say much of that investment went into the design of the grill with the cast iron grates so that it was designed to mimic like a backyard grill, but cook it in less time. I always wondered like how they got those marks on the chicken. So I guess that took them 7 years and $50 million to do. But nonetheless, that is how the grilled chicken nuggets are made. But also you have to understand they season them. And these are the 3 ingredients that they claim that they season them with, right? Pretty simple, straightforward. It's a proprietary marinade of lemon, sea salt, and garlic and herb, right? If you taste them, they have a little bit of flavor, and you can tell that they're using some type of seasoning, and this is what that seasoning is. I think they have a blend of herbs. Who knows what's in that, but they're pretty good. They're not as good as the breaded ones, and the breaded ones aren't terrible. They have a little bit more carbohydrates than the grilled, but there's something I noticed. Recently, I went to a Chick-fil-A and I went to go order some of these, and I noticed something. When you walk in, they have this caution, and that's why I have this proceed with caution here. One of the things they say is like our chicken has dairy in it. So you have to be careful, because you look at this and you go, how does something, if you just take chicken and you grill it, how does it have dairy in it? And according to the sign that they have and according to the notice on their website, because I looked into this, they made an announcement that the supplier of their chicken made a mistake that they're working on fixing, and that supplier uses dairy in, I guess, some of the batter or something that they do. I have no idea why there would ever be dairy inside of a chicken nugget, but I guess it's something injected or something put inside of the chicken that contains a small amount of dairy. So they have to have this because people who are super sensitive to dairy or have allergies to dairy, some lactose intolerance, can be at risk. So you need to proceed with caution. If you're like, hey, I'm gonna go get the grilled chicken nuggets, I'm gonna stay, and all of a sudden you start getting itchy and maybe inflamed or bloated, it could be because there seems to be a bit of dairy even in the grilled chicken nuggets, which is insane to me, but something to watch out for. Now, the last thing I wanna talk about with Chick-fil-A is they're known for their sauces, right? They got some of the best sauces that are out there. So I wanna look down and break down like, hey, if you are gonna you're gonna order the chicken nuggies, or you're gonna get some of this other chicken options that are out there, what sauces would be best to use? Now, obviously the answer is no sauce at all, right? But listen, if you're like me, like to spice things up a little bit, use different sauces. So which ones are your best bet? First, there's different sauces that have 0 net carbs, 1 net carbs, and 2 net carbs. Chick-fil-A sauce is not in that category. I'm sorry to break that to you. As good as it is, it's not in the 0, 1, or 2 to 4 net carbs. It has a little bit higher than that. The other thing I want to say is if you look at most, not all, of the Chick-fil-A sauces, almost all of them have soybean oil and sugar in them, so you need to use them sparingly. However, some of them don't have soybean oil, and some of them have a lot less sugar, so it's a lot better for you. So if we're looking at the 0 net carb options for our sauces, they have one that is a cilantro lime. On their website, they claim that this one has 0 net carbs, so might be the best option if you're going for maybe your salad, or if you think that that sounds appetizing with a grilled nugget. Not my favorite, but an option that you can look into. Now, when it comes to 1 net carbs, what are our options? We have the zesty buffalo, right? Those of you that like a little bit of a spice, they have a zesty buffalo sauce that's actually pretty good. And then one that actually pair well with that is the garden and herb ranch, right? So you got a ranch and a buffalo sauce. If you like it spicy or you like more of a ranch, you're looking at about 1 net carbs with those. Now the buffalo sauce is probably better. I don't think they use the soybean oil, but the ranch definitely has some type of vegetable oil in it. Now we have 2 that fit within the 2 to 4 net carbs. We have the honey roasted barbecue. That's gonna be, actually there's only one. It's the honey roasted barbecue. That's the one. There's some that say it's 2, some that say it's 4, so it's safe to say it's about 2 to 4 net carbs for that honey roasted barbecue. So these would be your better sauce options. Now let's talk about this guy, the Chick-fil-A sauce, the one that everyone loves, tastes incredible, right? It's amazing. Not necessarily for your health. We're looking at 7 net carbs per serving. And some of the things you look here, it's got soybean oil, sugar, it's got barbecue sauce, which has more corn syrup in it. You come down and you look, you're like, all right, cool, not egg yolk, salt, vinegar, lemon juice. But here, within here, if you look at some of these things, inside of some of the natural flavors, if they break it down, it has a lot of MSG, which may be the reason why it's so addictive and so good, is it's loaded with MSG. And so you need to be careful with that. So as good as it is, try to use it sparingly, if not at all, and choose one of these other options. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the drink options. We have 2 drink options. One is going to be the unsweetened tea. That is going to be your best option. If you go to Chick-fil-A and you want to get a drink, your unsweetened tea is going to be the best option. Now for me, I was going to Chick-fil-A a bunch early on, probably early on in 2020. I would go to Chick-fil-A once a week to try and get a lunch when I was on the road. But I would always get this, which is the diet lemonade. And it sounds amazing, right? Like if you've ever had it, it's like, oh, this thing's so good. Sometimes it's too sweet. The reason is they use lemon juice, right? To kind of get that bitterness. And they use Splenda. So for those of you that know, Splenda is the yellow packet or it's also known as sucralose. So you need to be careful if you're super sensitive. Sometimes it's like you have this real bitter and it's super sweet on top of it. And some people love it. For me, it's a little too much. I would have it occasionally, but once I found out that it had 14 grams of carbohydrates, that was the end of my diet lemonade journey. And the reason is because it uses real lemon juice. I don't know what else they have in there. Obviously, Splenda doesn't have that many calories, but if they are using Splenda, you have to remember that the Splenda packets, most of Splenda, if it's not sucralose directly, is sugar. So let me break this down for you. If you know a Splenda packet, I'm just gonna draw an example of a Splenda packet. The amount of sucralose that's in a packet of Splenda is very little. Imagine it's like this. It's very little. But if you shake that packet, there's a lot of sustenance in there, right? It's still only might be half full, but there's some other powder that takes up the rest of that. What is that? It's sugar. And so with how sweet this diet lemonade is, likely they're using so much Splenda combined with the real lemon juice gives you this 14 grams of carbohydrates per diet lemonade drink. So you need to be very, very careful. If you go and start getting a diet lemonade and you use an entire Chick-fil-A sauce or sometimes two, and then you get something that's on the higher end of carbohydrates, maybe you don't get the grilled nuggets and you get the regular nuggets, those carbs will add up very quickly. On top of that, you have soybean oil inside of the sauces. You have them cooking, I believe they cook in peanut oil, and a lot of these highly processed vegetable oils. So something, again, if you're in a bind, these are good options, better options, but it's not something you want to eat all the time. So I hope this video helped you understand what options are best when eating low carb at Chick-fil-A. And if you have any other restaurants you want us to cover, let us know down in the comments, or anything else that you want to learn about from Chick-fil-A, let us know. We are here to help. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys.